Hello and welcome to Mathematics Made Easier channel. This is your favorite mathematics tutor, Comfort Amuakon Atta. I welcome you all to today's class. If today is the very first time of you joining my class, a special welcome goes to you. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please look down there and click on the subscribe button to subscribe. Then you also click on the notification bell to receive an update whenever I upload a new tutorial. Good. All right, so for today, I'm going to teach you integers. Excited? Yes. Good. All right, so now pick your jotters as you come along with me for today's class. So let's see what we have for today. Let's see our slides. Okay. Let's make sure you are seeing the slides. Let me share it again. All right. So as I said earlier on, our standard for today is integers. Integers. And what is our learning target? Our learning target is by the end of the lesson, students will be able to understand the concepts of negative numbers and that they are used along with positive numbers to describe quantities. So, and what is your I can statement? Your I can statement should be, you should be able to write integers to represent quantities in real life. And that is very easy and simple. Now let's look at our key vocabulary. So our key vocabulary in this lesson is, or key vocabularies are, we have the positive numbers, negative numbers, opposites, and integers. So we are going to talk about the key vocabularies before we start with our main lesson. So whenever I mention positive, you know what positive numbers are. When I mention negative, you should know what negative numbers are. When I mention opposites, you'll be able to know it. Then integers, you will be able to know it. For these keywords, you're going to use it throughout the whole lesson or throughout the whole standard on integers. We have some sections under integers, and I'm going to treat that with you in each lesson I take. All right, now let's move to the first slide. What do we have for the first slide? Let's see. Okay, so this is the warm-up activities, and that's the expectations and the duration. Okay, so this is the do now, or the warm-up activities. You notice and wonder. So what do you notice and wonder? I usually do this for my kids to think deeper about the lesson before I introduce the lesson. So it helps them to think. That is one thing that our students are lacking, thinking about things. They always want us to spoon feed them. But if you do that, it will not help the child. Give the child an opportunity to think and come out with, reasonable solutions. So this is the do now activities. What do you notice and what do you wonder? So you can put your answer at the comment section, but let's take a quick review on that. We have some activities and the amount attached to the activities. So I noticed that I have some activities as amounts. There is no wrong answer or right answer over here. Whatever you notice and whatever you wonder is correct. And also we have some positive values as well as negative values. We also have We can also see from our do now that if you do a choice, you are being paid. But if you buy something, you lose money, right? Good. So if you do something, you are being paid. You get a credit or money. But if you buy something, you lose money. What about petting my dog? I didn't buy, no, did anything. I just pet my dog and it was fun. So I didn't gain anything. That was $0 or zero Ghana cedis. All right, so that is that for the. So let's see whether we can watch this video from Math Nations. All right, that was great. Let's go back to our presentation. Okay, good. So now I want to link our lesson to everyday life activities, right? Okay, so looking at the first picture, let me stop sharing and make sure it's being shared. There you go. All right. So looking at the first picture, this girl is so happy because he had 100 in her exams. Is that going to be a positive or a negative? So you are linking integers to everyday life activities, right? Okay, so you have to figure out yourself. If I'm scoring 100% in my exams, is that a plus or a negative? Or is that a positive or a negative? That is a gain, actually. Looking at the second picture, these guys lost their game. I think this is a volleyball, right? So they were so sad, and so that was a loss to them. Now, what about if I go to the bank and cash out money? Is it going to be a positive or a negative? If I cash out some dollars, is it going to be positive or negative? Or if I cash out some Ghana cedis, is it going to be a positive or a negative? So looking at this, if I cash out money from my account, it means I'm going to lose on my account. The money in my account is going to be reduced. And I'm going to spend this money on something else, which means it's a negative, right? Good. Then the last picture is this parent is buying shoes for the child. So she's buying with her money, which is also a negative, right? Okay. So think about so many things that you can relate into just to your real life problems. This will help you to gain better understanding of the lesson. Okay, so we have these two where we have negative, where we have positive, where we have the zero, the starting, zero balance, sea level, all these things are zero, on the number line. And we have the negative. Then we have this each situation and relating it to the negative, zero, and positive. All right, good. So just take your time, read through. I hope you guys are good in reading and relate it to what we are learning. Now let's quickly hop up to our introduction. So when you say an integer, what is an integer? I said it earlier on that an integer is a whole number, 1. It is not a fraction. Nope. So it is not a fractional number, right? It is a whole number that can be positive, negative, or zero. This will help you to understand it and identify integers well. So we have some examples over here. We said that it's a whole number, not a fractional number. So for example, you cannot say -1/2. No, it is not a fractional number, but it's a whole number. So -5, -3, all these examples, 1, 5, 18, 97, and so on and so forth. You can list as many examples of integers as possible. So if it is not an integer, therefore it is what? A non-integer or non-integers. That is decimals, fractions, and other ones, which are not whole numbers. So numbers that are not whole numbers become a non-integers. Then we know positive numbers already. Now we know we have negative numbers. The further they are from the zero, the lesser they are in value. That is how to identify negative numbers and compare. We are going to make use of this when you get to comparing integers. So the further they are from the zero, the lesser they are in value. Good, that is our introduction. Then we have the key vocabularies. You have the positive numbers, you have negative numbers, and we have opposites, right? Two numbers that are in the same distance from zero on the number line, but on opposite side of zero are called opposites. The opposite of zero is still zero. Therefore, we don't have a -0 or a +0. Zero is zero, right? All right, so this is graph of integers. So we have our number line. To the right are positive values, to the left are negative values. Then at the center becomes our 0. Then opposites of numbers that are opposites of 0 becomes what? Opposite numbers. So we have the opposites of -4 as +4. The opposite of -5 as +5. The opposite of -1 as 1. The opposite of 3 as -3. So the opposite of +3 is -3. Numbers are the opposite of 0 becomes opposite numbers. Again, 0 is neither negative nor positive. Okay, so now this is how we do, and the expectation is keep low key. You don't need this. I just include it in my presentations to guide my to help me with my classroom management, so that the kids get to know whatever they're expected to do at each point during our presentation or during the lesson. All right, so now the first one is write a positive or negative integer that represents each situation. The first problem is what? A contestant gains. There are some there are some keywords that you have to take note of when you are doing integers. A contestant gains 250 points on a game show. So if you are gaining, it means it becomes what? A positive. Actually, you are gaining. So write an integer. This becomes, you can either write this as just 250 or plus 250. Good, because the contestants gain, right? So gasoline freezes at 40 degrees below. Below means below 0. And numbers of values below 0 are negative values. So negative 440. Good. Okay, so let's move on. That is that for this. Okay, so we have an activity here. I'm not going to go through, I'm just going to explain it to you. So you have to do. So you are going to work this with your partner. You have friends, you have siblings. Work it out with your friends. It's fun. So you're going to match its temperature to each seat, right? So figure it out, looking at the temperatures, which place is too hot. So the deeper it goes, the colder it becomes. The higher the temperature becomes, or the higher the temperature goes, the hotter it becomes. So look at the various cities and look at the temperatures and assign that to the various temperatures we have. All right, so if you're able to get this, then good. So if you're able to do it like this, it means you had everything correct, right? Okay, so these cities have these temperatures when you visit there. So let's take a quick recap on our learning targets and understand a concept of negative numbers and that they are used along with positive numbers to describe quantities, right? Okay. This is the I do, and I'll do it. I'll model for you to watch. I have a video here, but I'm sorry I can't play it. I'll leave the link under my tutorial. So this is I do. So we have to identify where the blue point is on the number line. So looking at the blue point, first you can identify where the blue point is looking at your scale or the intervals. We moved in twos. So it means you're moving, you're counting in twos, right? This is -2, so 0, -2, -4. So each bar represents two intervals. So -4, -6, -8, and -10. So it means the blue bar represents -10. All right, so -10. Okay, so if you got this correct, it means you had it correct. So always look at the intervals in which you are counting. It is not always that you count in ones. You can count in fives, you can count in threes, depends on the question. All right, the next problem is what? Write a positive or negative integer that represents the situation. A savings account ends. Again, the key word here is ends. That should guide you. If you're earning, it means it's a plus. Everyone wants to earn money, right? Good. So earns $10. So write an integer. What is it? The integer that represents this. So earns means I'm earning, I'm gaining. And of course, that's a plus to me. So this becomes plus 10. That is plus 10. I cannot write it there, so let me fix it here. Oh, sorry. So plus 10, right? Okay, the next problem is what? A student loses. Oh God, that's so bad. If I lose points on my quiz, that would be very bad. So a student loses 5 points for not showing work on a quiz. So if I'm losing, that means it becomes a negative 5 points. All right. That is so perfect. Good. Let's move. You guys are doing so well. All right, so now this is the individual practice, and that is for you the expectation again. Individual practice means you're supposed to do it alone without any assistance. But that is when I put my small groups to help them, depending on their needs, the needs of the students. All right, so this is the you have to do it for me to see whether indeed you have understood the lesson or not. So again, you are writing a positive or negative integer to represent the situation. That is the learning target. To write integers to represent real life problems. You have a depth of $24, a depth which is a minus. Good. A hiker climbs 900 feet up. So if I'm climbing, it means I'm going up, right? Good. No one climbs to come down. You descend to come down and you climb to go up. So that's what negative 900. If you got this correct, good job, guys. So if you finish early, solve this if you finish early. A baseball is thrown at a speed of 78 miles per hour. Baseball is thrown. You throw to the top, thrown, okay, at a speed. So you write the integer that represents this is situation. Anyways, this is our summary and exit ticket. A submarine is 3,750 feet below sea level. So go back to when we were looking at problems that relate to everyday life activity. Below sea level is negative. Below sea level. The sea level is 0. Below sea levels are negative values. Above sea levels becomes a positive value. So always know where your negative or where your 0 starts. The start point, the kick point, right, becomes a 0. Then below it becomes a negative values. Above it becomes a positive values. So again, you tell me how you understood this lesson. First, we looked at the definition for integers. Then we compared integers to real life situations. We looked at the definitions or the key vocabularies in our lesson. And I believe you guys have understood the lesson very well. So just watch it, do the activities with your friends and your colleagues, and you'll be able to get better understanding if you practice more examples. Good job, guys, and see you soon. If there's any question, just leave your questions at the comment section, and I'll do my best to address all problems. So we meet again. Please stay safe and learn hard. Bye. Okay. Stop sharing. So my next tutorial will be on comparing and ordering of integers. Before I move to absolute value, then I move the next one. So I'm going to treat all the subtopics under integers for you. Okay, see you. All right, love you all.